Welcome everybody to Midweek Meditation. I'm Wendie, and I look forward to meditating with you today. I am in Redwood City, California on Ramaytush Ohlone land, and we are in, I think, week 45 of meeting for meditation. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Omer period, which we're in, because this week in the Omer is Chesed, or loving kindness. As those of you who come frequently know, it's my favorite kind of meditation. Did a meditation retreat 2 weeks ago, loving kindness, and I signed up for another one, a 4-day one, the weekend after next, Thursday through Sunday. It just is really, really helpful. If anybody wants to come with me, let me know. I'll send you the link. And I'm going to announce this the next few weeks that there's going to be no meditation on Wednesday, April 21st. My Spiritual Directors International Conference is virtual, so I'll be sitting behind a computer all week, but hopefully good spiritual energy that will come out of that, and a lot of learning. So I'll keep announcing that, but if you want to make sure that you put that on your calendar not to show up on April 21st, I won't be here. So today, loving kindness again, Metta, in the Buddhist tradition, in the language of Buddhism, of the Buddha, or as the wisdom teachers say it much better, the Buddha. And Chesed in Hebrew, loving kindness. Last night I was in a meeting with my rabbi, and he called it overflowing loving kindness. And I really like that. And in fact, I have to ask him about that, because I've seen that before and wondering where that translation derivation comes from. So as those of you who are celebrating the festival of Passover know, it happened Saturday night. That was the first Seder. So Jewish holidays, the Jewish calendar is it's actually a solar lunar calendar. I've talked about that before. It's a lunar calendar, but it gets adjusted to stay within the seasonal cycle by the solar calendar. But since it's a lunar calendar, all the holidays start at night. Days start at night, at sundown. And so Saturday night was the beginning of the first day of Passover, Sunday night, second day. And on the second day of Passover, we start the Omer period. And the Omer period goes all the way through to the next Jewish holiday, or the next Jewish festival of Shavuot. And the Omer goes back to the Bible. In Leviticus, the Bible, it says, God says, you will bring an Omer, which is Hebrew for a sheaf. You'll bring an Omer of barley as an offering every day for 49 days. So it goes back to when the Bible was written down. Before that, we don't know. We have approximate dates for when things were written down, but we don't know exactly when that tradition started. And during the temple times, when there was a temple, the people would actually go to Jerusalem, celebrate Passover, which was the barley harvest, the first harvest of the year. And then they would continue to bring a sheaf of barley, or an omer of barley, to the temple. Every day there would be a ceremony. They'd give it to the priest. There'd be a ceremony with a lot of waving of the barley. And then people would eat, and that counted them up to the next festival, which was Shavuot, which was the wheat harvest 50 days later. So 49 is 7 by 7, so 7 weeks. And that was the practice until the second temple fell, and Jews were without a temple, without a place to do sacrifices, without a place to bring to really congregate as a community, and without a place to bring these offerings. So what happened in the diaspora period was a transition to Passover and Shavuot being these, which there were temple times, these harvest festivals, Passover became much more about the commemoration of the exodus from freedom from slavery and Mitzrayim and the liberation. And Shavuot became the commemoration of what happened in the Bible, in the Hebrew Bible, 49 or 50 days later, was the revelation at Sinai. So that connection between the two holidays was still there, but a different spiritual emphasis. And the Omer period still connected the two. And in the Kabbalistic period, and what you would do in the Omer period then is you just count between, there's a ritual, you say a blessing and you count each one of the days. In the Kabbalistic, so then Kabbalism comes around, Kabbalah, in the 16th century, and the Kabbalists have many different systems in mystical Judaism to try to understand, how does God show up? How is it that the world doesn't always feel that it is sacred and divine, and yet the belief that God is in everything, God is everything. And one of the creation stories, myths, one of the understandings that was very prominent in Kabbalah was the sense of these sephirot, that God, we can't understand, but we try to understand as best as we can how God shows up. And then they came up with this system of 10 sephirot. Originally, they were concentric rings, and then later Kabbalists changed it to something that could be mapped onto the body, and a scheme where you kind of went from one to the other. I'm just going to show you a picture from one of my books. This is the sephirotic tree, and this can map. You can see it mapped onto the body. And Keter, the top, is kind of the Godhead, that which we cannot know, and Malchut down here on the bottom is the most physical manifestation, and that we're moving around constantly through these different sephirot, which are emanations, manifestations of God. And if we try to use them in a psycho-spiritual way, they can help us not only to become better people, but they can help us to connect to God, to divinity, and they can help us in another Kabbalistic orientation. Was the idea is that there are these divine sparks that are in the universe, that are in the world because of the shattering that happened at the beginning of creation. And I won't go into that, would take me another 5 minutes to describe, but you have this shattering of these vessels that could not hold divinity. And so our job is to try to elevate these divine sparks in us, in the food, in the planet, in everything. And so you have these, by looking at these qualities and looking at these emanations, these manifestations, these sephirot, that's one way to help see where are these shards of divinity and what can I do to help elevate them back to wholeness. And that gets obviously translated, I shouldn't say obviously, that is Tikkun Olam, which is a very strong pillar in Judaism of repair. Tikkun Olam, which one of the translations of Olam is the world or the universe. And actually the chant that I'm going to do today has the word Olam in it, as well as Chesed. So you have the sense of, we're here to repair the world. That's one of the meanings of life from a Jewish standpoint. We're also here from a Kabbalistic sense to repair ourselves. So there's Tikkun HaNefesh, repair of the soul. Nefesh is one of the levels, or one of the kinds of souls. We are a soul. So probably the better way to describe it is it's a level of soul, or one manifestation of soul. And so we have this Tikkun Olam that we do, that a lot of people have heard that term, which they think, doing good things in the world, social justice, making, reconciling, fixing things that we have broken or that are broken, but being somebody to fix them in a very large, grand sense. fixing. So I got off a little bit, but we have the Kabbalah. We have this Kabbalistic tree of life. And then I'm just going to show you the picture one more time. So this is the highest level, and these are the lowest levels. And so what the Kabbalists did was they just said, oh, 7 weeks. Let's take the bottom 7 Sephirot and let's map those onto the Omer period. And so each week of the Omer, you look at one of these qualities. Week 1 is Chesed, so loving kindness. And we'll see if I'll bring up some of the other, I can tell you what they are. The week 1 is Chesed. Week 2 is Gevurah, which is strength or discernment. Week 3 is Tiferet, which is balance or harmony. Also beauty. Netzach is week 4, endurance. Hod is week 5, which is splendor or glory. Week 6 is Yesod, which means foundation. And week 7 is Malchut, kingdom. So we have actually, yeah. Okay. So we're coming down the tree in these qualities. And then those qualities, those Sephirot, are also mapped onto individual days. So day 1 of any week is also Chesed. So the first night was Chesed in Chesed. Love. How does loving kindness and loving kindness show up? The second night, which was 2 nights ago, Monday night, it would be Gevurah in Chesed. How does discernment in loving kindness show up? And then the day that we're in now, which started last night at sundown, is Tiferet of Chesed. So how does balance or harmony show up in loving kindness? So the Kabbalists were they like to think and ponder about things. So many of their practices have a lot of this esoteric quality to them, and many of the practices that we have evolved from that are a little bit more embodied. So this week is Chesed, and so great time to do another loving kindness Chesed meditation. And the chant that I'm going to lead us into our meditation with today, I couldn't remember, and I didn't have time to look up and see if I've done it here before, but it's Olam Chesed Yibaney. It's by Rabbi Menachem, Creditor, who used to live in the Bay Area, but he has moved. And it's based off of a line from Psalm 89, line 3. And that psalm in the Hebrew is Ki amarti olam chesed yibaneh shamayim takin. And that gets translated as, for I have said, Chesed will be established forever. In the heavens, your faithfulness is everlasting. And what he did was he took 3 of those words, Olam, Chesed, Yibaneh, and Olam, as I mentioned, can usually gets translated as world. So Tikkun Olam, repair of the world, broadening it now that we understand we're not the only world here. Olam is the universe, all of creation, because Olam has underpinning it this sense of everything or forever or enduring. And so in the psalm, it's actually Olam Chesed Yibaneh is translated as forever or enduring. But he took a little turn on that and said, well, we can say that we need Chesed for the world. So the world needs to be built on love. And I think he wrote this after 9/11 for his, I believe I read that he wrote it for his daughter as he was trying to make sense of how do we now go back to our sense of love and loving kindness, and what does the world need? It doesn't seem to need more hate, it needs more love. So I will sing Olam Chesed Yibaneh a few times to move us into the meditation. And then I'm going to lead us in an embodied Chesed, Metta, loving kindness meditation, overflowing loving kindness meditation. And what I'm going to invite you to do is first do it for yourself to feel the love in your own body, in your own thoughts, in your own feelings. And then if you want to, for the second half, then to radiate that out to either a particular person, groups of people, or the world, the universe, if you want to do that, and anywhere in between. This is how can it be bad if we're sending love? Where do we need to send it? Wherever we need to send it. So if there's somebody in particular that you want to send it to, or somebody pops in your mind, or multiple people pop in your mind, but we're going to start with sending it to ourselves first, filling ourselves up with loving kindness so that we can then let it overflow out of us into wherever it is needed, or wherever we feel called to do that. And that we'll do that. Looks like we have about a half an hour to do that. So we'll have a nice loving kindness meditation. And then we'll come back with the sound of the bell. Okay. So I invite you to relax and take in the chant. Certainly, if you know it and you want to sing along on mute with me, feel free. Olam Chesed Yibaney, Yadadai, Dai, Yadadai, Dai. 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 I will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And we will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai, then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam Chesed Yibaney, 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 Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. We will build this world from love. Yadadai, 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 dai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai, then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, then we must build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, yadadai. So take a nice deep breath in and let it go. And relaxing into your own rhythm of your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. As you breathe in, receiving, and as you breathe out, letting go. Breathing in, feeling the front of the body open to receive the breath as it expands. And as you breathe out, the body releases and contracts. Breathing into a soft front. And as we breathe out, noticing the strong spine, the firm back. Breathing in, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, and breathing out and recognizing our strength. So relaxing into the breath, letting the breath settle you in, coming into your body. We can start by noticing the sits bones as they root down onto our chair and anywhere else that your body's touching your chair. Noticing where your body is touching itself or folded in on itself. Maybe one hand on another, or your hands on your thighs, behind the crease of your knees, inside the crease of your elbows. Simply noticing those sensations that are always there. And as we notice them and bring them into our awareness, we inhabit our body. We become more present to our bodies. And as we bring ourselves into the body more, we start scanning and seeing if there's anything that we need to do. Noticing any tension in the neck or the shoulders or on the face or in the hands, anywhere that you want to adjust so that you feel comfortable sitting for the next 20 minutes. And taking some notice, scanning around the body or scanning top to bottom, imagining just simply noticing the body, noticing where it might be tight, where there might be any pain, letting the breath or movement in the body invite a release of any tension. Tension many times held in the shoulder and the neck. Noticing the face and the jaw. Is there any tension there? Letting it go, breathing into it. And simply letting the body relax as you breathe out. Sometimes the low back is very tight, or the pelvic area, the hip bones. So breathing into those. And exhaling and letting go. Seeing if you can release a little tension or tightness. And spending a few minutes simply noticing your body, listening to it, noticing your physical body, again, any discomfort and also any sense of ease as you scan around the body, is feeling so natural that you're not noticing it. Tip of the nose or a cheekbone or top of the forehead. We are able to hold both tightness and tension and softness and release at the same time. So as we scan around our bodies, we really recognize in ourselves this sense of both and that we hold and are able to hold. And we turn our attention to our thoughts, to our mind, simply noticing, what are you thinking? Maybe a temperature sensation. You're thinking, my hands are cold. Or you're thinking about something that happened today or something in the news. Simply noticing it without judging. Noticing that you may be holding many thoughts, that your brain, your mind is moving around between them. Having gratitude for the brilliance of our mind, that it can be doing so many things all at once. And then noticing either individual feelings or the feeling tone that is in your body. What's the overall sense of feeling good, positive, hopeful, or a sense of challenge, pain, worry? Maybe there's a little of both. Without judging, simply allowing what is there, what is in you, what is in your mind to be. And as we move into the formal loving kindness part of this practice, if there's any intention that you want to set for yourself to be here today, to open, to release, to be present, whatever emerges or doesn't emerge. And as we move through our meditation, the most basic way that you can have loving kindness, overflowing loving kindness to yourself, is to not judge anything that will happen during the meditation, to invite in whatever happens or doesn't happen. You stay awake or you fall asleep. You go to a deep, loving kindness place or you don't. To let go of any judgment. And so let's start by wishing ourselves well. If you like using Metta, loving kindness phrases, you may want to say words or phrases. May I be safe. May I feel strong. May I feel content. May I be at ease. Or words of well-wishing to yourself. Safe, strong, contentment, ease. Or let the words drop away. tap into that loving kindness pool that is beyond you, that has been sourced by so many before, and even before that, the creation of loving kindness as the world, as our known understanding of it came into being. We dip down into that deep, overflowing well of loving kindness, and we send it to ourselves. And we send it to anywhere that we need it, in our bodies, in our minds, in our hearts and spirits. Love and friendliness, kindness and compassion. We bathe ourselves. We want it to ooze into every pore, to feel our heart full of love and compassion. We are love, and we are loved. So take a few minutes. If you find that you get distracted or you lose your way, you can come back to the breath and breathe in love and breathe out love. Breathe in love and let go of anything that isn't loving kindness. And you can continue to stay here, feeling loving kindness flowing in you and to you. Or if you feel like you want to let it flow out of an abundance from you, imagining however it's feeling in you, full heart, throughout your body, just a felt sense of you as love and loving and lover. Either bringing to mind a person, people one at a time over the next section of our meditation, or a group, or the world, even beyond the world. Imagine love coming in to you, filling you up with the in-breath and love flowing out with your out-breath. So in this way, we become not only loved and loving, but we become a conduit for love, a channel. Love flows in us and it transforms us and fills us up, and yet we send it out because we know there's plenty more to come, and there's plenty in us. We imagine love as warmth, as light, as softness, whatever, maybe as no thingness, the absence of everything else but presence. Allowing yourself to be one who transmits love, such a sacred, divine gift. And so if whatever way feels comfortable for you, in that embodied way, or maybe saying phrases, or maybe even just one word, you may know a particular person that needs strength or contentment. Remembering that that person is standing in for all. All of us need strength, safety, contentment, and feelings of peace or ease. So we take our last few minutes in this place to send it out, or to bring it into yourself wherever you are, feeling that overflowing loving kindness continue to bathe you, and imagining it bathing others. So as we come back, we take a nice big breath in and let it out. Moving your body. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Let's see everybody here. So as we say goodbye to those that are on the live stream and watching this on the recording, know that you are made in the image of the divine. You are made B'Tselem Yah. You are made in the image of the divine, and the divine in me, and each one of us sees and honors and acknowledges the divine in you. B'Tselem Yah.